It has to be easy human reading style. Jargons, keywords won't help that much. What matters is the intent. That is the main difference. For SEO, the main fundamental was keyword. For AI, the main fundamental is the intent. No matter how many styles you write, your intent would be same. And the more easier it is to get an intent, the higher is the probability for AI to pick it up. And the main thing is, you don't need to start everything from scratch. Just start with whatever you have. Start optimizing it, start experimenting upon it, and then see how it is evolving. Because first of all, at least you will get a clarity on the pipeline that you need to follow. Zero click also was there before AI overviews came into being. If you look at the stats of 2023 and 2024, there were more than 50% to 60% of Google searches which ended with zero clicks. What was the reason behind it? Because Google always tried to introduce those experience in the search that led to zero clicks. What AI overview is giving is an icing on top of it, or it's a complete shift to that zero click movement that we are going forward to. But if you look at featured snippet, which used to come in Google search, people also ask these questions. A list of YouTube videos that someone can just watch, list of product that someone wants to buy and what's their price directly in a search itself.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Marketing Couch. Today's episode is going to be in a different style. We are combining the high level strategy with ground level tactics and live demos. So, if you are a marketer who likes to roll up your sleeves and get into the trenches, you are going to love this episode. We are diving deep into the world of SEO, AEO, and GEO. That's answer engine optimization and generative engine optimization. This one is slightly technical. This episode is perfect for savvy marketers who want to experiment with AI prompts to optimize their content for the new search paradigm. My guest today is Ayush Poddar. Ayush is an IIT graduate who launched multiple businesses over the years and is now helping companies with people first GTM strategies. A few months back, I discovered a newsletter called Startup GTM, which is produced by Ayush. This newsletter has over 1,500 subscribers, and honestly, his work is original and deeply researched. The guy knows his stuff. If you are a marketer looking to master SEO, AEO, GEO content strategy in 2025, this episode is especially for you. We are going to show exactly how to use AI to audit and optimize your content. And yes, please let me know in the comments how you like the format and if you would like to see more such episodes. And yes, if this adds value to your work, please hit like, share, and subscribe to the Marketing Couch podcast. It really helps us reaching more professionals like yourself. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hey Ayush, welcome to the Marketing Couch.
Hey Jaideep, how are you?
I am good, Ayush. I'm glad to have you today on the show. And just so you know that on the Marketing Couch, so far the episodes that we have done more focused on branding, strategy, sales, customer success, marketing and sales working together, that kind of topic. But today I'm really excited to have you on this show because we are going to focus on something very new, which is not just the topic, but also the style on which we are going to do this show. So, from the topics standpoint, we are going to focus on how the transformation is taking place on the search space, which is one of the most important area of any digital marketing activities. And the style that we are going to follow, we are going to start with a bit of strategy part. After that, we're going to focus more on the tactical side, or rather say execution side. And we're going to do some really exciting stuff with Ayush on the show today. So look forward to that, viewers. And with that, let's just get started. So Ayush, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So as I mentioned, that on search side, right, is practically transforming the traditional search. What is your point of view on the transformation right now going on the search space?
See, fundamentally, we have been accustomed to using Google and initially Yahoo also for identifying about different problem statements or different things in a daily life. There was a term like Google it. At a point in time, it was a global phenomena that you are Googling, and Googling is nothing but searching for that information. Now, with the advent of ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, Anthropic, Claude, there are multiple AI tools. People say, okay, go in ChatGPT. People say, okay, go in Perplexity, ask Perplexity. People say, go and ask Anthropic, Claude. If you see, this is a shift that is happening. The way in which we used to find information is phenomenally changing. And that's where, so a few years ago, 100 people were asking queries. Everyone was asking to Google. Today, out of those 100, still 80, 85 are asking Google, but 15 have moved to Perplexity or ChatGPT also, because they don't need to find information further by clicking on the links, going through it and browsing. They want to have a clear and structured output on what they are looking for. And interestingly, Google has also taken a step in that with Google AI overviews, Google AI mode, if you can see in your Google search. That's exactly that.
Yeah, I
So,
just
because,
noticed that, recently, while
hmm,
it, I think it was in beta mode for a while,
correct.
but now I see they have added this button, which basically is AI answers.
Correct. So if you look at a typical process of someone who is searching for an information, first he needs to open google.com. He needed to open google.com, then put up his query, then look at all the links that is coming, then opening multiple links in different tabs and then going through each and every information just to find what he is looking for. Today, with the help of AI, he or she doesn't need to go through all the links. AI can actually go through all the links in itself, find that information, summarize it, contextualize it, and even present the output in a format that someone wants to know.
Correct.
That's the shift is happening. So in my process earlier, the search was a 4 step process or a 5 step process. Now the search is a 1 step process.
Right. I think that is truly a transformation. And for longest period, over 2 decades or maybe 2.5 decades, people got used to search in a very different way, like you're saying, Googling. But for the first time, the major visible shift that I see is zero click. So essentially, you're writing a query and you're getting an answer in layman's language. And as you mentioned, now Google is actually giving you an answer, but it is also giving you links below. And while giving the answer, I see that, like any other LLMs, it also quotes certain sources from where it has picked up or collected the answers. That's right,
Yeah.
right? So is traditional SEO going to be dead in some time? Not yet, yes, of course. And like you
So
mentioned, it's still a tiny portion of the overall search.
correct, correct. So here there are two things when we talk about zero clicks. Zero click also was there before AI overviews came into being. If you look at the stats of 2023 and 2024, still there were more than 50% to 60% of Google searches which ended with zero clicks. What was the reason behind it? Because Google always tried to introduce those experience in the search that led to zero clicks. What AI overview is giving is an icing on top of it, or it's a complete shift to that zero click movement that we are going forward to. But if you look at something like featured snippet, which used to come in Google search, something like people also ask these questions, something like a list of YouTube videos that someone can just watch, something like a list of product that someone wants to buy and what's their price directly in a search itself. This all leads were actually one of the parts of zero click initiative, that you don't need to go to that link. Every information you find in the Google search itself. But now there's another evolution of it is happening, which is an AI is bringing the exact information to you without clicking on it. So even zero click is evolving. Zero click was there, now it's evolving to the next stage itself. That is first part. Second part, when we say that apart from zero click, that traditional SEO is gonna be dead. See, at the end, any engine, when they also want to have the information from 1 million sources of information out there, they also need to go through all the indexed articles that are there. SEO is an existing infrastructure that creates the foundation of that search. So SEO can never be dead, it will always be in conjunction with the AI search. However, if you look at a typical chat GPT search, it would give you all the information with the links. It will keep doing it, but from where it is sourcing all the links, then categorizing and then putting up. You need to have all those SEO fundamentals in place, all the technical SEO, off page SEO, on page SEO, then backlinks and everything, because the fundamentals is same. And when someone will go to Google search for asking those queries, on the first half of the page they would see Google AI overviews, other thing, but at the bottom it would be links only.
Right.
How would your links be categorized in an order would be a mix of both SEO and how your content is written for humans, which is
Mm.
what an AI understands today.
So fundamental infrastructure remains same, or the underneath foundation remains same. What is happening is that your content also need to structured in a way now that supports query or question answers. So
Correct.
probably
Correct.
is going to take into that account that when I'm asking, so it's all obviously a system that is continuously learning that what kind of questions being asked. So like you mentioned, it's still going to go back to maybe the foundation and look for those thousands of websites before picking some answers from certain websites which are better optimized to give their answer.
Correct. And if you look at the counter business opinion of this, there's a huge economy that runs on SEO.
Agreed. Yes.
And no tech company, not a single technological evolution today has this much of fundamental job shift power that it will uproot one of the revenue ecosystems of today. So even the big tech, which are behind this zero click search or AI search, would also want SEO to work in conjunction with AI search, because that's their revenue source also. So
Mm.
SEO will be there. It's just that from the user perspective, my behavior would be divided across different
Yeah,
mediums.
yeah. And for viewers, I think one good source to go and refer to also some of those work that our companies like Spark Toros is doing. There are a lot to learn from exactly how Google is deciding on some of them. So for Google, to me, is like basically shifting the balance, right? They will continue to have, and I think you rightly mentioned, too much of infrastructure, too much of too many businesses, too many high stake stuff are actually running and banking on SEO. And because the foundation layer is still very critical, nobody is going to really remove completely from that, I guess. So great. So then, if this is the situation here, and we see that the transformation is happening, we are focusing more on the startups. So, how should startups think of their content creation and distribution strategy? I mean, it is not that startup have any different kind of strategy, but for them, a lot of dependencies are there on organic content, and therefore SEO is very critical, especially for product companies where a lot of this question and answers where they want their features to be sort of featured in the LLM based chats and so on. So what is your take on that?
See, I would go with first principles.
Hmm.
Even if anyone needs to do SEO, they need to look at what my user is searching. Similarly, if someone is doing for AI search, they also need to know what people are talking about. The main difference is how.
Mm.
In SEO, typically it's stuffing your content with so much of keywords that it would rank on the first page over a period of time. But that over a period of time would be determined with a lot of things: your experience, your authority, your page ranking, a lot of other things. If you look at the AI search, so what people need, what a startup founder or a marketeer or a marketing leader or someone like us, what we need to understand is what are the low hanging fruits. A low hanging fruit is always the content that I already have and the content that I can immediately put out in the market.
Right.
The content that I can immediately put out in the market also stems from what business I am in. So it's all marketing fundamentals. Whether my priority is awareness, whether my priority is the people who already know about a product and demand is already out there. Depending upon that, I would create my content in such a way which would be inclined to how AI looks at the content.
Mm.
Now, how AI looks at the content is fundamentally very similar to how a human looks at the content. We look at more structured content, we look at the fundamental meaning behind that content, we look at whether that content is readable or not. These are the fundamental things.
Mm.
Short content, bits and pieces in a structured way with markdown schema and everything, so that AI finds it easy to read.
Hmm.
And the moment we start giving credits to people from where we have taken that information, it starts adding a credibility on top of it that you are valuing some other's work.
Right. So, in terms of the quick wins in 2025 from an SEO
Hmm.
standpoint, stick to
Hmm.
your fundamentals essentially,
Hmm.
right?
Correct.
The
Correct.
the work that you have done across different sections of SEO, whether it is on
Hmm.
page, whether it is off page, technical, backlinks, all of that, focus on those fundamentals to ensure that.
I would say just optimize it
Mm,
for AEO, GEO, and
mm,
not just optimize everything, but optimize in a priority order.
mm,
First, optimize what's your immediate goal. Your immediate goal is building an awareness that is targeting people who are talking about the questions which are relevant to your business,
mm.
or your focus is just to focus on the demand out there. So optimize the content which are your product pages. So whether you're optimizing your blogs first or the product pages first or your website first, it also has to be in priority order as per your business goals.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So, are you looking at the top of the funnel and pure awareness, or like you mentioned,
Correct.
or are you looking at qualifying or probably trying to drive opportunities for demo?
Hmm.
Um, I think it really depends or boils down to that priorities, right?
Correct.
Uh,
And even if a startup is very new and they don't have any assets, I would say just start writing about what people are talking regarding your problem statement. Go to Google Trends, go to Ahrefs, go to SEMrush. I'm not saying go there for keywords.
mm,
Go there to identify queries what people are asking.
mm,
If people are asking any queries which are very much popular, that means that query will also
mm.
come in your AI overview, right? If that will come into an AI overview, you need to look at follow the same process how an AI will understand it, what is my content structure. So the journey starts the same thing, to identify what people are actually asking and whether that is aligned with your business goal or not.
So, can you share maybe some simple steps? Obviously, these are some of the steps to make the content kind of answer ready for whether it's a Google search or maybe it is the LLMs,
Hmm.
but more focused on, I think, AEO and SEO in particular.
Yeah.
Can you share some kind of structure that essentially helps in terms of, for example, it could be an FAQ, right? Or it could be a concise answers of a particular question, or it could be a schema
Hmm.
markup, for example,
Hmm.
that helps getting content feature in the
Hmm.
snippets section, or maybe even for optimize for the voice search results.
So typically there are five important things here when we talk about how I'll rewrite my content or restructure my existing content to rank for AEO GEO. Normally based upon what the research has been done so far, it's all about my top of the feed should contain a brief summary about a short paragraph what this page contains. So we call it inverted funnel approach. A top of the page should contain a brief summary, entire information to structure in bullet points, which are easy to understand, easy to grasp through. Important pointers should be in between summary boxes that okay, this is a summary of this is a brief summary of this, so that it becomes easier to pick by an AI. And then lines which are important has to be in markdown format of H1, H2, H3, H4 in a structured hierarchy way. And then when you have this kind of structure, second point comes is what kind of style I'm gonna give it to my writing. It has to be easy human reading style. Jargons, keywords won't help that much. What matters is the intent. That is the main difference. For SEO, the main fundamental was keyword. For AI, the main fundamental is the intent.
Intent.
No matter how many styles you write, your intent would be same. And the more easier it is to get an intent, the higher is the probability for AI to pick it up.
Yeah. How do
And
you
straightforward question and answer styles.
how do you decide on the intent, the range, right? Is there a way
Hmm.
to sort of kind of assess that, okay, this is high intent versus this is low intent?
See, when I say intent, we are talking about two kinds of intent. First is a user intent, and second is an AI intent. When
Hmm.
I say user intent, that's fundamental link to the outcome what person is asking. Whether it's about information that I want to get, whether it's about a product pricing I want to get, whether it's about a product comparison I want to get. So different user intent has a different outcome. And that's what is linked to your business outcome. When I'm asking for an information, when I have an information intent, I would look for more top of the funnel content. When I have a product comparison intent like X versus Y, AI would look for more comparison pages in that way. So that's a user intent. So my pages also would be categorized as per what kind of intent I have. I just want to go and look for that product in the market. That's a proper product intent. So my website pages would be categorized accordingly. My blogs and my comparison pages would be categorized accordingly. Product pages also. Second is AI intent. When I say AI intent, whatever you type into an AI today, the first scan that AI does, it tries to identify the hidden meaning behind it. I can type 100 words and that does mean that what is AEO. So for AI, 100 words doesn't mean anything. What's your base instruction? What's your additional modifiers, additional constraints, additional instructions is what an AI look for as an intent.
So which means everything boils down to the prompt, isn't it? Or
Correct. And that to a prompt, which is an instruction that first AI parses and try to create for its own to further go and look for that instruction. So I won't say it would be if I write how is AI different from SEO versus is AEO different from SEO versus how is SEO not working in comparison to AEO. Everything would come down to one single task that an AI has to do along with an output format, yes or no, or a detailed explanation or something, is what we need to understand.
got it, got it.
When we have that kind of intent, we know that my content can actually cover hundred of queries that people are asking.
So Ayush, we are going to have different kind of audience watching this. For someone who is just getting started, right,
Hmm.
and is not very familiar with these technical names, let's demystify that, right? So, what is AEO and
Hmm.
what is GEO,
Hmm.
and where they appear, how they are different from SEO? Can you
Okay,
just simply explain this part?
sure. So I'll start with first SEO, then AEO, then GEO.
Yes.
SEO is and was whatever we type into our search engines like Google, Bing, the list of articles that comes in front in response to that query that we put in the search, that these are the best articles that would give you an output. The process of creating all work, doing all the work for you to rank on in that order is SEO, search engine optimization. You're optimizing for search engine outcomes, basically. Now, what is AEO? So, AEO is a very vast term. It's not just Google AI overviews, it's not just Perplexity answers, it's not just Chat GPT overviews. It's also about the LLMs you are going to use in your own chatbots. Any kind of LLM which is going to give an answer to a specific question is AEO. Briefly, we understand it like okay, what we are getting in Google AI overviews is an AEO. What we are getting in Perplexity answers is an AEO. But what we are also getting in our chatbot on website or on our internal tool, which is going through all the articles, is also an AEO. That is the
Mm,
clarification that I also want to make here.
mm,
It's
mm,
an extended part.
mm,
What we're talking about Google search or Perplexity is just LLM SEO.
mm,
It's not entirely AEO, and AEO is a
mm,
very vast thing. Now,
mm,
for anyone to know about AEO, it's all about today. I have a piece of content which is 1,000 words long. I would just recommend put it into Chat GPT and ask how many questions can be prepared out of this, along with small 40 to 50 word answers, and then also publish your content with all Q&As or FAQs so that anyone having that query, whether they're searching on Google or your internal tool or on your website, they would get a specific answer
mm.
because you are just making finding an answer easy for AI.
So you are essentially saying this is what is answer engineering optimization.
Correct.
So you're
We are
optimizing
help
the answers.
optimizing the answers. What is GEO? GEO is so we usually ask a lot of vague queries on a daily basis on Chat GPT. Help me write an email on this or do a comparative research on this. Help me create an ad on this. That's a generative engine optimization. We are asking AI to generate something for us based on the query. So it's not just finding an answer, it's about generating a text so that I will achieve my outcome.
So this is clearly AI generated answer, and therefore it could have hallucination, it could have factual mistakes, and so on.
And that's where they also give you web search options so that you will have a link and
So
your main
where do
goal.
you get the web search option?
In Chat GPT, you can go and look at web search. Perplexity normally has web search enabled as well.
Okay, all right.
in all of the tools.
Yeah. So
But
basically, in
the most,
settings, you can just go and
yeah, even Gemini also
right, right,
has
yeah,
that.
enable the ability to surf or
Correct.
access the search or
Now,
internet.
the main question comes is, why are we then optimizing for GEO
Hmm.
if AI is gonna create the answers on its own? Because we are gonna fight for that citation.
Hmm.
AI is helping me getting my outcome by generating a text. But from where it is picking that context to generate an outcome for me is where it will give the reference links. So
True.
so I'm optimizing my content to come in those five citations that AI has picked that content which was helpful to me and it created then an output for me.
Hmm.
That is GEO.
Got it.
So AEO, we are fighting for getting an answer directly from my link. GEO, we are fighting to come in that citation reference that AI has actually read my article to give you an answer, because that gives the credibility to the platform as well as people go and click for detailed info.
Got it. So if you are a marketer today, let's say it's you are a marketer for a SaaS company or whatever company, another tech company, you need to, what are the one or two or three things that you need to ensure, just to summarize, that your content is visible on the AI driven platforms, be it on the AEO side or as well as on the GEO side. We just discussed about the outcome, but in terms of what are the precautions, just to simplify things and summarize what we just discussed, right?
Yeah.
For
So
marketers.
if you say a step by step thing that I need to do to structure my content, which will come into an AI search or AI search for answers or for generative text, I would say there are five things we also discussed. We need to structure our content in such a way that it needs to have some FAQs. It needs to have all the reference links where the article has been picked up, because that increases the credibility to my page. It also has to contain a brief summaries in between, and it also has to be written in a conversational basic English. Conversational English style, not jargon heavy, keyword stuffing English. Those things are extremely important for any content to be taken by any AI, either for AEO purpose or for GEO purpose. Now, what's the purpose of that page? It depends upon the business goal, whether it is top of the funnel content, bottom of the funnel content, or my product page. For that, based upon my, okay, so if I have to put down into steps, my first step would be look at the business priorities. What is my current business priority, whether it's awareness content or a product content or directly bottom of the funnel content. My second priority is audit my entire content initially to
Mm-hmm.
see what all can be done on each of the pages, which content has the power first in the priority order to rank for me based upon my business goal. And chat gpt and any AI tool can help me do that.
So basically, this part that you mentioned in terms of doing kind of an audit of your existing content and also get a recommendation in terms of the structure, this part can be achieved through AI prompts. Is that correct?
AI prompts or AI tools.
Or AI
Because
tools?
correct, because if it's a massive content bank, then definitely a single prompt won't be helpful. Then you need a complete orchestration platform which will help you run that query on all your content and then give you an outcome in a way you want. So either you build your own AI engine for your own AI application using Lovable or so for that,
Mm.
or you directly run prompt for each and every article and run it using N8Ns. That's also the way.
So there are
But
no.
orchest,
Hmm.
yeah.
So there are no readily available tool that can actually do the entire assessment of or audit of your web content, then give you feedback structurally that these are the actions or these are the next steps that you can do page by page based on basically to increase your probability to get featured in AEO or GEO based answers.
There are tools out there.
Mm.
Ahrefs is coming up, SEMrush is coming up. Existing
Okay.
SEO tools are also coming up with their AEO upgrades or AEO extensions. See, one thing which I certainly am sensing out there is everyone is trying to build something on the thesis. But if you look at from the chat GPT perspective, from the Google AI overviews perspective, from the perplexity perspective, there is no information on how they are ranking the content.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
It's all experiments which are running and giving certain. correlated output on if we follow these steps, there's a high chance we will get a rank. So there are tools available, and that's not much of a rocket science to even not do it yourself. My point is, first we need to look at how much effort it's gonna take, because it's not like everything you feed into an AI and it will give you an output.
So, in your opinion, what are the common mistakes that you see that are done and which probably have some easy fixes in the current way of doing SEO, AEO, GEO, all of that?
See, the current, if I say some of the mistakes or some of the things which people needs to look at is definitely the technical SEO aspect. Your page load times, your page size, your speed, your structure of the page, your meta tags, everything is important for crawlers to crawl your page. So when we say it's optimized for AI, it doesn't mean we forget things for SEO, because a crawler is same. No one is going to reinvent the crawler. AI is actually working on top of the crawler is finding out all the information. So one thing is definitely the
Hmm.
technical SEO part, which
Hmm.
will also be applicable here. Second thing is language and style. We have been accustomed with working with keywords, but now we need to look at how easy I can write it
Like
for an
NLP, right?
correct,
Hmm.
correct. That is important.
Yeah.
And third is structure, FAQs, sections, brief summaries. So that makes it easy for even an AI to skim it. So
Hmm.
whatever the steps we were discussing to do, these are also one of the things that people needs to be cautious about. Because in Google search, you used to get 10, 20, 30 across different pages. But with
Hmm.
AI search, you're gonna get 5 to maximum 7 or 8 links, nothing else.
Yeah. So maybe let's talk about a little bit about in terms of. So let's switch the mode, and I want to also talk about a little bit about your newsletter because your newsletter covers many of these topics in depth. Before we jump into the prompt section, where we will showcase a little more in detail how you can go about or how our viewers can go about writing prompts that will give them the right keywords and the structure. So, can you talk about a little bit about your newsletter and whom is it targeted to, and what are the key areas currently you're focusing as part of your newsletter?
So I have this newsletter, Startup GTM. I have been writing this from July of 2023. It's been 2 years. Have written majorly. So the primary purpose behind writing the newsletter was in the field that we are in. It's very important to know which path to choose, which experiments to actually try,
Mm,
because there are hundreds of paths to choose, hundreds of experiments to try, and
mm,
there are multiple strategies. Some are cost heavy, some are effort heavy. So how to actually identify that particular strategy? So from last 2 years I have been sharing strategies around communities, thought leadership, ads, organic, sales led
mm,
funnels, product led funnels,
mm.
all these things from
Pretty much
last 6 months.
on the digital marketing front, what a B2B marketer would look at, whether it is SEO, whether it is SEM, or whether it is the GTM side. So I think you covered that quite extensively, and your newsletters are very very detailed. And I'll put up a
Hmm.
link in the show note. Um,
Hmm.
and I believe your primary targets are the marketers, and what you want basically your main intent is you do these quick experimentations, find out those insights and findings and what works, what don't work. So essentially you're trying to help marketers save that time, follow those insights and maybe the next steps and the call to actions to improve on each of these areas, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because at the end, it's all mental models and frameworks that
Mm,
one needs to adapt. How is everywhere, what is everywhere. But till the time you know why exactly you are
mm,
choosing what you need to do,
mm,
for that, you need to have a deeper understanding of how people have done it and achieved success. So
mm,
that's what I'm covering. I have been sharing prompts that I have been trying across my own GTM experiments in my
mm,
newsletter.
mm,
And recently, I have published a two-part series on AEO GEO, which I would also share a link with you to
mm.
share. And these are the prompts that we'll try now and then
Yeah.
show how those things are helpful.
Yeah, I think let's just deep dive on the prompt side now.
Okay, so I'm just sharing my screen.
Yep.
Let us take one of the content from my newsletter, from one of my newsletter article, which is also SEO optimized.
Okay.
We'll pick a prompt from my AEO newsletter, GEO newsletter,
Okay.
and then we'll see what kind of output it is giving and how it is helpful to me.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
And for viewers, where is this newsletter hosted?
It's on Substack. So Substack is the newsletter
Okay.
platform. I have a link, startupgtm.substack.com.
Okay.
So let me just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So this is my newsletter. Let's open one of the newsletter. Let's see Lenny Rechitsky's playbook.
Okay.
And let's open one of our articles on AEO. So this article, this is SEO optimized, have written prompts, have written keywords, and it's also getting traction in Google search as well based
Mhm.
upon my Google search console. Let me just save this as not save this. Let
And
me
I
just
recently read one of your LinkedIn posts that says that your traffic has increased a lot.
yeah. So last 3 months, my traffic, Google search traffic has increased by 3x.
Mm.
So earlier, you can say Jan, Feb, March, traffic was around 84,000 impressions in Google search. Last 3 months, April, May, June, it was around 200,000
Wow. Okay. So almost
and
3x.
almost 3x
Yes.
because it's all about what people are looking for. So I have downloaded a PDF version of this. This is my newsletter on how can I transform SEO content to ChatGPT, Perplexity, AI optimized assets for AEO. Here I have given the same steps what we are talking about. We'll pick up one of the prompt like audit a page for answer readiness. So with this prompt, an AI will help me identify content to analyze. I'll say, let me just upload it. So
Mhm.
the purpose of this prompt especially is it would go through my entire article. So let's look at this prompt till it finds an answer. It will do these 4 steps. Identify the core questions. What explicit or implicit user questions does this question effectively answer? Snippet readiness. It would generate that snippet which would come into a summary so that I also know what to put up in my content as an answer. Analyze intent alignment. Is it covering how, what, should I, which are general intent queries by people? It will evaluate AI digestibility, that is my language clear or I need to change it, and recommend enhancement. So it will audit my content piece for questions to the entire style that I need to change. If I run this prompt for all my content bank, I would get data on all the things that I need to change. Let's look at what it has given. Explicit questions.
So
How did
right now you have run that, you have attached
I have attached my newsletter?
newsletter as a PDF.
Correct.
And okay, so it is running, it ran the prompt on your attached PDF. Okay.
Correct. Then explicit questions answered. How did Lenny build a million subscriber? What framework, growth loops, and strategies did he use? How can founders and these questions are already there.
Mm.
How do solo
Mm.
creators compete with VC-backed startup? These questions can be identified or answered with the questions with the content in the text. Now you can see here is where the interesting part starts. The snippet does not currently offer a clear, concise 1-3 sentence answers because I always write a TLDR content. So why not long form storytelling? No summary boxes, high signal but buried in narrative form. Intent alignment, yes, aligned because I have used certain phrases and this is where it actually fits. Now barriers, no section summaries, no snippet style conclusions. Some headings are clever but not literal. And that's where it starts giving me all the output that I need to use Q&A formatting for AI search triggers, add TLDR summaries, insert summary boxes, add schema tags, FAQ how to article. And then in case I'm also focusing on voice search, I need to add it as well.
Mm. Mm.
So this is what is important for me.
Okay. So it basically then gives you a verdict
Hmm.
on which are the sections which are green, which
Hmm.
is red right now, and what
There are
does
5
yellow
evaluation
means?
areas: core questions, snippet readiness, intent alignment, AI
Mm.
understanding, and recommended enhancements. So
Mm.
in case of AI understanding, yes, it's moderate because not everything is written for AI. And snippet, definitely, it's nothing is there in terms of how to's and summaries.
Right. So this is interesting. So let's say, let's discuss about the workflow. I am
Hmm.
creating a newsletter. I
Hmm.
do a first draft based on
Hmm.
my own understanding, based on my own
Hmm.
research,
Yeah.
and I come up with the draft content.
Hmm.
And then I use this prompt
Hmm.
to go through the draft content
Hmm.
and do an audit and tell me where I need to improve and
Correct.
what type of improvements,
Correct.
right? And this
Yes.
is going to help me in both AEO and GEO, right?
Yes,
Okay.
because fundamentally the way in which AI reads is same. The
Mm.
purpose of AEO and GEO is different.
Mm. Mm. Correct, which we discussed.
Yeah.
Um, and will it also help me strengthen my SEO side as well, like both, especially in the technical SEO side?
No, not this prompt. So we'll go further into detailed
Got it.
prompts and let's
Got
see
it.
other things. So
Got it.
now I have actually identified my content, what's lagging in it. My second
Mm.
step is if I have a bunch of content pieces, how would I prioritize it? So there is a prompt for it. Prioritize content topics. So here, if I give a list of web pages, so let me just open it here. The purpose of this prompt is we give a list of web pages. It will identify it, scroll through it, and then
Mm.
give me potential opportunities in the priority order that which pages are important.
Okay.
So let's come here.
And it can read even images as well, right? The
Uh,
prompts.
that we need to check once because I have
Yeah.
tested only for the text level prompts,
Got it.
text level because AI
Usually they
because
do, yeah, but yeah,
hmm.
because they're
Now here.
multimodal in most cases.
Hmm. So here we also need to give more informations like target keyword or query, current rank impressions. But this is where we need to take all these things. Let us move to a different prompt. But the main idea here is it would give a rank to my content on which content I can prioritize first. See if you look at why it's taking CTR, why it's taking clicks, why it's taking impressions. Because it's trying to identify that which content is getting better impressions, which content is getting better clicks, and then giving it in a priority order for you to take action upon it, because that's what you're going to do as a process as well.
Mm.
So if you see favor content ranking in positions, highlight pages with high impressions but low CTR, that becomes your content. Okay,
Mm.
then rewrite and optimize content
So in
wherein
this prompt, it can actually pretty much read all the pages, right?
hmm,
Okay.
whatever you will give. And if I just come here, sorry, it's here, yeah. Okay, rewrite for a featured question. So sorry, I'll just come here. Here's the question to answer. So question will pick up here. What frameworks? Let's pick up this question. Original content. So what it would do, it would give me a summary. So this kind of question in snippets.
Mm.
So first I've audited my content, then prioritized my content bank, then created snippets, how to's and all the things in an order. Generate Q&A. Similarly, if I just use this prompt, I'll generate all the Q&As that
This is
I need to.
FAQ.
Yeah. So it's giving an answer. So this is from part one. Till the time it is generating an answer, let us look
Mm.
at part two
So
also.
are these prompts
Hmm.
currently customized or tailored for your content, or our viewers can just lift and shift, meaning they can just copy paste for their
See, they
content as
can
well?
copy paste, but it also depends upon the business goal.
Mm.
Right now these are plain vanilla prompts for any kind of content, but
Mm.
if I have three kind of businesses for three different kind of content things, I may need to add couple of modifiers to make it more precise, because then I
Okay.
need to also tell AI that my goal is to rank for GEO or to rank for product level comparisons, to rank
Mm.
for this use case.
Understood. Okay.
So if I just come here, see the answers have come here. So this is what I can add directly.
This is
This
for
is
a
based upon
product
my
page.
content.
Okay. So this is for
This is
your
based up,
content.
yes.
Okay.
So what it
So
is
if
saying is that
if
you can add these 15 FAQ style Q&As into your page, and this is what is generated from. So anyone who will ask about any of the questions, at least an AI can pick from my page. So my goal is
mm,
whether AI would crawl through my page or not. It also depends upon these FAQs, because now I'm telling an AI that any questions which is mentioning, which is having an intent like growth loops from Lenny's or monetization model by Lenny, would effectively route to this page. First pick
mm,
this and then give it a reference.
yeah. So those who are not able to see the demos, I would highly encourage to go to the YouTube podcast of
Hmm.
Marketing Couch. But in case if you are not able to, I will put up the newsletter link, and you can straight away go to the newsletter that we are referring to here, and basically compare with, or basically experiment with your own content by tweaking it here and there a little bit. but essentially the fundamental is there. Now, depending on the objective that you are trying to achieve, the type of content that you are trying to get highlighted or featured, could be a product, could be again depending on your goal, right? Or just a discovery.
Yeah. So we were discussing about search intent also, right?
Correct.
So we have discussed about how to audit my content. We have discussed about how to prioritize my content bank. We have discussed about how to generate small snippets, FAQs or summaries. Let's discuss about what kind of queries I need to put based upon my business goal. So if you look at in front of your screen, there are different kind of stages, tofu, mofu, and bofu for my content styles, and there is a search query that is important for each of the pages. There is a prompt that helps me identify different kind of these conversational queries that I can target from my existing content. Now if I just run it, now again I'm just attaching my PDF for let's say Lenny's newsletter. Let's say I'm just monetizing Lenny's newsletter hypothetically.
Got it.
Right. So I
and
put down my
and you
query
are
that
using ChatGPT 4 here, right? 40.
chat GPT 4o,
40.
because normally this is also available in free versions.
Correct.
So this is where we can run our experiments. However, I can also try with other models. I have access to it. But let me just attach my PDF here. Just once. Or in case I don't even attach a PDF, it would search from everywhere.
Got
So
it.
you can see here. If I want to target a tofu awareness, what is the Lenny newsletter about? How to learn product growth from Lenny newsletter? What topics does Lenny cover in the newsletter? Similarly, scrap, right? So that's where I get queries. So chat gpt, perplexity, Gemini can also help me with the queries that I can think of adding in my content if I'm targeting top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, or bottom of the funnel.
These prompts will work in other LLMs as well, like
Yeah, yeah, it
someone
will
using
work.
Perplexity or someone using, say,
Yeah,
Claude.
let's try in perplexity as well.
Mhm.
So this prompt I've put up here. Let me just topic search queries for. Let's choose a model, Claude Sonnet.
Do you need to attach the newsletter as well?
No, I'm just asking for queries right now.
Okay, right now just queries.
Yeah, just one second. Okay, sorry. So meanwhile, it is generating. Let's go. Okay, you're getting these queries, right? So basically, Chat GPT and Perplexity will be giving us output in terms of what kind of queries they are getting, what kind of queries they can think of. But yes, best is even if we take two of the LLMs and then do a cross mix between the output, we'll get enough number of queries to focus on.
Hmm. Hmm. So you can either do one or you can do multiple LLMs to
Hmm.
further optimize for all the popular LLMs,
Correct. Correct.
because they're all different search engines now.
Yes. Now, if you see, people also ask. Now, people also ask is also important because when you are putting in your FAQ, you also need to know what people are also asking. So, people also ask is famous. You might have been seeing in Google searches. People also ask comes in perplexity. Also, it comes if you scroll below related, right? So, if I just come here, I put up this for, let's say we take one of the questions. How does Lenny use AI to scale his content, right? Let's put up this content here. And let's say I'm only selling a solution which would help someone like Lenny to scale his content. This is important for me, right? So I'll say all. See, all these queries are helpful for me to address. Is it making sense now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now I can also check for comparators AI generated answers. So
Okay.
it's not just one part of what we are talking about. We can also look at, so let's look at what comparator queries are, comparator retrieval, and what
So,
queries.
so in this case, in your case, what would be
Hmm.
the competitor part?
So, okay. So, top rated GTM newsletters, right? Because if I need to optimize my queries, I also need to focus on these things. It's picking up, right? Everything. And then giving me an output, optimized article outline, top rated GTM newsletters in 2025, structure, citations, and edge. Now, when I need to write any article like that, or I want to segregate or create different comparison metrics, I can always do that because comparison metrics is also coming here. Real world case study is also coming here. So
Correct.
at the end, AI also helps. So what we also have learned so far is that AI can help me optimize content for AI.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's just that we need to follow the right process.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think by referring to this set of prompts would
Hmm.
be a good starting point for someone to practice.
Correct.
What is
So if
interesting in this case is that the content marketing per se
hmm,
um, has just evolved, right? It is
hmm,
more sophisticated now. So it's not just about the core content, but very importantly, how do you structure your content, um,
hmm,
keeping different objectives in mind
hmm,
and keeping different stages of your buyer's journey in mind, um,
hmm, correct,
in the intent in mind, essentially, right?
correct.
Um, so yeah, I think this could be a good beginning for someone, and
Hmm,
I think newsletters also specifically gives the scenario and on for which this prompt is written.
hmm,
For someone who is savvy, I would imagine experiment with their existing content. It could be a newsletter, it could be a web page, um, or it could be even maybe a piece of content that they are writing which is going to be uploaded, an asset,
hmm,
maybe a guidebook or an ebook or whatnot.
hmm.
Even there also, structuring the content is going to be important.
Yeah. So in last 20 minutes only, we have done everything. So this is one of the prompt which
Hmm.
I just put up here, which is its purpose is to give me 5 concrete strategies to restructure my page so
Hmm.
that LLM can extract and repurpose its content more effectively. If you look
Hmm.
at the output, what it's giving me: structure into tables, structure into FAQ blocks, structure into semantics hierarchy, S2, H3,
Hmm.
H1,
Hmm.
structure into bullet list, summarize podcast interviews, use AI to repurpose threads, create key takeaways or TLDR sections. This is what an AI needs to identify and read your content further.
Yeah. So the interesting part, as I think we discussed, is that you are learning from AI to essentially train, that uh, how can I write it for you so that
Hmm.
you are able to understand and quickly read my content in the way you read.
Yeah, yeah. So even you can, there is a prompt to generate llms.text.txt file for
Hmm.
to guide LLMs what
Hmm.
kind of how to parse my content
Hmm.
actually on my website. So
Okay.
if we also run it once,
Hmm.
we'll see that suppose I have done everything and then I
Hmm.
need to update my llms.txt file for crawler. So basically it's for continuous crawler indexing and LLM attribution. So just like we used to have this index.html, which is already
Hmm.
there,
Hmm.
this is for LLM indexing.
Okay.
So there are different use cases for it. Anyhow, this
Hmm.
prompts will also evolve. I'll also keep updating them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And in case, so technical SEO we were talking about, right? So there is
Yeah, that is
also a whole
something that I
section.
can you cover this very briefly about.
Yeah. So basically, this is the brief diagram on content on technical SEO, where we need to add schema, do all the markdown thing, use proper HTML format, put the meta tags, crawlability and speed. I told you about the optimized speed, compressed images, right? And so these are certain things that we can enable. However, I have also covered a prompt. So there's a checklist. So I would suggest you can also share this checklist. That's all for technical schema. We need to add schema, put up all the details, organization details, put up in HTML structure, put up all meta tags, then look for mobile friendly, fast speed, and robots.txt file or meta tags, allow AI access, like there's a GPT bot that you need to also allow. And that's how you will start enabling it, like AI prompt to generate FAQ schema for technical audit check. So I can do a technical audit check if I give a HTML section of my website.
Okay. Hmm.
So at then it's all journey. It's an
Yeah.
end-to-end journey. We
Correct.
need to take a step one first.
Yeah. But this gives you kind of a this prompts at least gives you the corrective. A is an audit, and then the second
Hmm.
is the corrective steps. Um,
Yeah,
because otherwise you are like scratching your head from where to start. At least this gives
correct.
you um, at least some kind of a footprint
Hmm.
in a structured way, so that
Hmm.
you can one by one look at different steps, like 5 or 6 steps that we showed,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, to understand how an AI is looking at it and reading it, and
Hmm.
what are the different corrections or modifications it is expecting you to do at your content, so that you have now
Yes,
your way to sort of go ahead and do that part.
correct. And the main
Right.
thing is, you don't need to start everything from scratch. Just start with
Hmm.
whatever you have.
Hmm.
Start optimizing it, start experimenting upon it, and then see how it is evolving.
Hmm.
Because first of all, at least you will get a clarity on the pipeline that you need to follow.
Yeah. So I think this is, I mean, one of the things that as a marketer today, your role is changing is that you need to be a lot more hands on in experimenting some of these to build your own confidence. And, there's no other shortcut but to get into the trenches and, spend a few nights or weekends to experiment with that.
Yeah.
Whether you are in a leadership position or you are in execution position, for the leaders, it is important for you to be able to understand the fundamentals here, to be able to make certain decisions,
Hmm.
and also structure your basically work for your team,
Hmm.
and also decide what you want to prioritize, what you don't want to prioritize right now.
Hmm.
And for someone who basically uses this for living, for them it's absolutely important to experiment with that. And like you mentioned, I think there are no right and wrong yet, um,
Hmm.
but this definitely gives you a good step ahead, right?
Yeah.
And some of this DIY resources is going to help you immediately start.
Yeah.
So we are going to share the newsletter links. I'm going to put that in the show note. And are we creating any sheet separately for the AI prompts, Ayush?
We'll share.
Yeah, and maybe probably put up the use cases along with that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And we'll see that if we can also provide in the future some kind of templates that one can download and start experimenting with that as well,
Yeah, and
right?
what I would just ask is, because all the prompts that we have covered is there already in the newsletter.
Correct.
There are explanations that are written with it. So just a prompt won't help
Yeah.
because everything is fairly new.
Correct.
So consider both the newsletters, part one and part two, as the entire guide, that it has prompts. It also has all the understanding to give in. So that is the document that we
Hmm.
have.
Hmm.
Now, in case there are anything related to that, what about this use case that a prompt is not covering, or what about tailoring for different use case? I think anyone can just put up a comment on your
Absolutely.
LinkedIn post or my LinkedIn post or on our Spotify
Or yeah,
podcast.
or YouTube, where this will be hosted, or the newsletter. Once they subscribe, they will be able to get this newsletter on a regular basis. I think this has been a very good hands-on coverage, walking through the prompts. The practitioners on the SEO community definitely be able to see a lot of value in what they saw in terms of preparing their content for not just SEO, which is the foundational layer, but also for AEO and for GEO. And we have run through some prompts that is essentially going to help them assess their existing content, and they will be able to take some corrective actions, optimize it further based on the recommendations, and the details are given on the newsletters that you mentioned. I'll put up those two newsletters link, the part one and the part two, which will have the detailed coverage on the prompts and the context and the use cases. However, I'm sure there will be some questions for the viewers or the listeners. We will be doing a webinar, a live webinar, most likely by end of this month or the beginning of August. So we'll announce the date at least a week or 10 days prior. So we would highly encourage you to sign up for the webinar, and you will be able to ask questions if you have anything related to AE or GEO, or the prompts that we covered today, or anything that you have read in the newsletter. We should be able to address that if you have any questions. So, Ayush, any last minute thoughts?
I think we are living in an exciting times,
No doubt.
and
Yeah.
it's more about collaboration. And I still remember one of our first conversations where the takeaway was execution is now commoditized, but thinking is now collaborative.
Yes, yes. And I think the very fact that you need to keep experimenting, so experiment fast, learn from the results and optimize. So that's the
Yeah.
right approach. So there is no other shortcut to it. But this is exciting because the good news is that all of these technologies that we've spoken about today are evolving. And any marketers who are looking to build their career on these areas has an opportunity to also evolve alongside. So it's an exciting time, no doubt about that. And I think there is so much we are going to see still on this space. So I would highly encourage my viewers here on the podcast and go and check out the newsletter and subscribe. You will see a ton of values as a marketer from a GTM standpoint. There's a whole marketing stack related topics that are covered, and we will announce the webinar date soon on our LinkedIn page. So with that, Ayush will wrap up here. Thanks for
Sure.
your time today, and thanks for covering such an important topic. I'm sure there are a lot of audience from this show is going to enjoy this, and we'll come back with another technical episode in the coming
Sure.
days. Then, thank you so much, and we'll wrap up here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, JD.